Paul Brown said to me, son, act like you've been there before. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I just barely got on the field. I hadn't been there before. So
I'm glad to be part of that trend. Suns out, guns out.
How about Isaac Curtis on one side, Charlie Joyner on the other side? A lot of quarterbacks were very envious that I had those two weapons to throw to, but...
Now, wait a minute. Is it fair that Pat McInally is still the sexiest guy on our team? Is that...
You got me there. You got me good.
Darling, how you gonna be in that video not represent with a chain? Your tango, man. I got mine on. I'm ready to go.
Oh, that's great. That's priceless.
There are two guys that I think it's a travesty that are not in that Hall of Fame.
Ken Riley and Ken Anderson. Yeah, sure.
Let's put the backdrop on, Jamie. See if Marissa's okay with it.
Yeah, I got her back. Starting the Canadian fan club up here for you.
That is so funny.
My last touchdown, and that's what Joe Burrow's going to end up like if they don't start protecting his ass. It's going to be the next David Klingler. David Klingler.
There's no Spanish speaking people here, very few. So we, fast forward, we go to the Super Bowl in Miami, and the word was the Bengals have two big Mexican offensive linemen. They don't know how to speak Spanish. So I got down there and started doing these interviews in Spanish, and they're like, "Wait, we heard you don't speak Spanish."
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? But I got on the plane one day in an all red Suge Knight suit. And boy, Joe Walters and the linemen, they destroyed me. I thought for sure I was so clean. I had some gaiters on, all red suit on. I was Suge Knight. They roasted me.
The head coach was the really the pain in the butt. The Jerry Glenn, he thought he was. If you didn't know who he was, he walked out there like he owned his stadium. And I always say, if I could get a chance to hit him on the sideline, I would.
I'm tackling your ass, Pete. I'm shoestring low on you.
But I got to tell you, you have been stepped on, son. You would have had cleats everywhere.
Well, I'm proud to be a Bengal. Yes, I'm proud to be a Bengal again. I got nothing from you guys.
Welcome back to Tuesdays, everybody, and welcome to Talking Football with Bengal Jim and friends. Tuesday for the rest of the year at this point as we get back to football. Guys, 1-0, we beat the Super Bowl champs. It's all good in Cincinnati Bengal land.
It's Tuesday. We're back. It must be football season. As you said, 1-0, big win down in Tampa, and a couple nice surprises from that first preseason game.
Oh, yeah. It's just fun watching, again, Joe Burrow not playing. That's okay. I'd rather him not play the first couple preseason games. But to see the defense play as well as they did at every level of that defense, offensive line looked good. Running backs look outstanding. I'd tell you what, stay healthy, everybody. Stay healthy. It's going to be a fun ride this year, that's for sure. So, hey, guys, real quick, couple quick updates. We want to welcome Houday Nation again, the Facebook group, the largest Bengal Facebook following on social media. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Also want to welcome back to Cincinnati, Zim and Tony the Tiger, as Tony has gone Hollywood on us, guys. He went there for a USA Today photo shoot. They got video, photo. He was there for like 2 days. I got a feeling probably in the next few weeks we're going to start seeing a lot of stuff come out, pictures and videos of Tony the Tiger and Zim. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So it was kind of fun keeping up with Tony's social media post as he was out of town in New York.
He reminded me of Kevin in Home Alone 2 walking around New York.
We got like the guided tour. That was impressive. Tony looked like he had a great time. That was cool.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So the other thing too, it's we're going to be talking to Gary Burley tonight. We're going to talk some football with GB. We're going to talk even something more important than football with GB about his fight with cancer and what's going on with that. We want to share with everybody. And we got Elise Jesse from Sports Illustrated. Has been around a long time. Covers the Bengals. She is awesome. So we'll be able to bounce some questions off Elise and talk some Bengals football with her about 8:30. GB will be on about 8:10, 8:15. We'll go from there. But if you're a season ticket holder, there's something that I didn't realize that would happen many years ago when I got season tickets. You start sitting around the same people year after year after year after year, and you start forming a bond with these folks, and that's your family on game day. You sit with these folks. You know what's going on in their lives. You stay in touch with them in the off season. And there's a group of folks that come down from Toledo, Ohio, that tailgate with us every year in and year out. The best people in the world. I usually hang out with them even after the game sometimes. So one of the couples that come down is Chuck and Christy Wood. And I just want to let everybody know that if you could keep Christy in your prayers. She was diagnosed with breast cancer here a few months back. And she's in the middle of surgery as we speak. Chuck's listening and watching the show right now. Chuck, we love you guys. We got you in our prayers, and we got everybody thinking about you guys. So just let Christy know when she comes to that we've been thinking about her and she's been in our prayers. So we love you guys. So you come pretty close to these people over time, man. When you tailgate with them and they're in your section, and there's a bunch of folks in 158 that we're that close to as well. But Christy, we love you. Take care. Get better. We know you're going to pull through everything here, so we're just thinking about you. Just want you to let you know that we're thinking about you. So we'll get to GB here in a minute, but we've got you guys raised I think $700 tonight for another charity, Homes for Our Troops, and basically that charity builds and donates specifically adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 vets. Basically to enable them to rebuild their lives, to live a normal life. And my wife's cousin, Josh Sust, is going to come on with us. He's a Marine vet who was injured post 9/11. So Josh, if he's still in the waiting room, if we can bring him in, I guess I'll do it. I'm sorry. I'm kind of trying to help a little bit here. We'll add Josh to the stream. Josh, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Good, brother. Josh, hey, man, so we've taken this week to kind of focus on a charity that benefited you specifically. Tell everybody that's watching right now, we got a lot of folks watching YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter right now, but kind of give a backstory of what happened and how you got to today and how Homes for Our Troops helped you out.
So I joined the Marine Corps in June 18th, 2006, straight out of Cold Rain High School. 2 weeks after graduation, I went to boot camp, and then from there I got stationed with 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines out at Camp Pendleton. Went on 2 deployments with them. My first 2 deployments were Muse, which is a Marine Expeditionary Unit. Got to travel the world and see a bunch of different things. And then on my 3rd and last deployment, I actually re-enlisted just to go to Afghanistan. But be careful what you wish for. On November 12th, 2011, which is known as my Live Day, it'll be 10 years coming up this November. Was the day everything changed for me. I got blown up by a improvised explosive device, also known as an IED, in a vehicle-mounted patrol. Truck got blown up. I was ejected. I shattered my tib and fib in my left arm. Hold on, Lucy. Yeah, there you go. Skin graft, and then ultimately lost my left leg in 2015. With that came challenges and everything else in life. And, I like to tell people, what I thought was the end actually turned out to be a new beginning. And what I mean by that is, well, Jimmy, you saw me like before I had my amputation, all the pills I was on, and just my quality of life. And you could kind of see that dark cloud that kind of just enveloped my aura throughout my life. In 2015, I finally made that decision to go ahead and amputate. And it saved my life, because I'll tell you right now, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be here today. I would have took my own life. 110%.
Unbelievable. So, Josh, I know it's been a long journey for you, brother, and your attitude, your positive attitude, and everything that you went through. It's an inspiration to us as we watched it day to day with you. But talk about now this Homes for Troops. I was at the ribbon cutting for your home a few months back, and what an amazing thing. So talk about the home and what they've done for you.
I mean, first off, it's a huge blessing. I can't thank Homes for Our Troops enough, and all the dinners that made that happen. This home that I'm in currently is a game changer. That's the best way to explain it. Everything is handicap accessible. The doorways are much wider. I have no obstacles anymore. I can actually use my wheelchair for the first time in 5 years. So I have what they call no leg day, and it's kind of the equivalent of when the women get off work and they want to take off their bras. I take off my leg. So I just kind of relax that way and just able to move out throughout the home. I mean, you saw the shower. I mean, hell, the shower is like you can fit 12 people in there. So I no longer have to struggle with anything. My morning routine has now improved from 10 minutes from before now to 45 minutes just because I don't have to rush to get ready. And the home being out here in Loveland, and I have 7 beautiful acres, beautiful tree line. It's so quiet and peaceful with that country living, but not too far from downtown Loveland. So you got the city right there if need be. And of course, only about 45 minutes from downtown Cincinnati to go see the Bengals game. So, I mean, I'm living life right now, and I can't thank enough all the donors and all the sponsors from Homes for Our Troops. And for everyone that wants to know, if you want to know where your money is going and it truly affects somebody's life, please donate to Homes for Our Troops because you will change people's lives. And it's been a game changer for me, and I just can't thank everybody enough.
Well, Josh, we would like you to hang on with us as we go through this charity duck race. So Josh, basically we had 27 ducks purchased at $25 a piece. Can't do the math that quick. I think it's $675 or $700. So Tom is usually the duck caller. So Jamie, you okay rolling our duck race? And if you could if you're able to show the names, because I added the 27th duck is Carrie, correct? Just make sure I'm right. Yep, Carrie Brooks. I got you there, Carrie. See, I'm sorry I missed you there for a second, but you're in there. Here we go. Tom, you go ahead. Actually, Josh, you do the honors. You say ready, set, go. You get it. You kick us off.
All right. Ready, set, go.
There you go.
Off on the Ohio River, just under the 275 bridge. Duck 8 appeared that there's the pesky COVID duck. He comes up hard every week. I don't know, what is that? A chocolate milk duck number 1? It's kind of strong.
I'm picking 17, guys.
Ducks.
17.
What's 17?
That's my prediction. I'm making a pick.
Okay, I got number 11. I got Sticks. So we got Lisa out front. And that Lisa, sorry, it's too early for that.
You don't want to be first.
Yeah, I think AJ's going to pull up. I think AJ's going to take this bad boy.
Green ducks kind of.
There's Scott loves Tom. Scott loves Tom up there, the green duck. That's nice. Sean loves Buck. There you go.
Tom, you got super fans out here cheering you on.
Scott loves Tom.
Scott loves Tom. There you go.
Man, that's the duck taking charge. That's waning off.
Scott loves Tom's going to the back.
Somebody's going to cut the clown duck's going to do it here.
Clown duck. Bill Newman's in charge. He's got it.
Bill Newman.
Congratulations, Bill Newman, but more so congratulations to everybody who bought a duck and helped in such one of our better charities. I think in a while we haven't done a duck race in a while, but it was good. So congratulations to all our viewers.
Yeah, so just to let you know, actually, if you're able to, Jamie, you okay? Yeah. So the winner, I just want to let you know that this was a donation from a Washington Redskins fan. I forget the name of these cleats, but these cleats are very expensive. I don't know. I don't think they were game worn. But also this Andy Dalton jersey is authentic. I mean, it's a jersey that would cost you $350. That's the jersey. So an Andy Dalton jersey and those cleats, that was donated by a Washington Redskins fan on social media. That sees us do these fundraisers pretty constantly. And he did not want to be named. He wanted to do it as anonymously. And I'm going to let you know, we've already had somebody donate a signed Boomer Esiason jersey for one of our duck races and a signed mini helmet autographed by Jamar Chase. So that'll be coming over the next few weeks as well. So if you see down at the bottom of the screen, the ticker right there, you guys have raised just this year alone $13,726 for charities. That's split between probably 5 or 6 different charities. I should have named them on there. And our most recent one here, $700 going for Homes for Our Troops. And Josh, brother, we appreciate your service, man. And it means a lot. You coming on and telling your story, man. It means a lot. And if everybody knows where Loveland is, and if you know where the Monkey Bar is, Josh is not too far from the Monkey Bar. So if you happen to go to the Monkey Bar and see Josh down there, you better buy him a damn beer.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, Josh, we appreciate it, buddy. We'll see you down at tailgate this year for sure, big dog.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right,
Josh,
buddy.
thank you.
Hey, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, Jimmy,
Yeah.
I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth because it was nice of the Washington Redskins fan to donate the jersey and the cleats. But is he trying to butter us up for this Friday's game to take it a little easy on them? Or
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We're going to blow them out. We're going to be 2-0. Should.
Especially when Eric Dungy finally gets some snaps at quarterback, our fourth stringer out of Syracuse.
So I just happened to be up at James' house Friday for this game, and James is coming over to the TV every 5 minutes asking if Dungy's quarterbacking. Dungy's carrying a clipboard in preseason, James. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Just saving him. We're saving him. Saving him. It'll be all right.
All right. Well, hey, next guest, before we bring on our next guest, we got Gary Burley, an absolute Cincinnati football legend who's been on the show before, part of the old Cincinnati Web defense. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But let's go ahead and play this short video introduction for GB.
4 individuals who reflect that youth make up the Cincinnati front 4. Right defensive end Ross Browner was team MVP in his rookie year. Tackle Wilson Whitley, a first-round pick in '77, has been a starter ever since. End Gary Burley, the year's leader in quarterback sacks, led the Web in tackles. At the other tackle, third-year man Eddie Edwards, number 73.
So 1975 third-round draft pick by the Cincinnati Bengals, played with the Bengals from really 76 to 83, played in the Freezer Bowl, played in the first Cincinnati Bengals playoff victory, the AFC Championship game he played in, and he played in Super Bowl 16. Welcome to the show, Gary Burley. What's up, GB?
Hello, Cincinnati. What's going on, baby?
What's right next to you there, GB?
You see this guy here?
That's awesome, man.
No, I tell you, your guy is awesome. I really appreciate that, man, because a lot of my teammates and everybody wants to get one of these, and I didn't want to throw it on him too bad because he told me how long it takes to make these things. But anyway, tell him he's got a crowd out here waiting.
Yeah, so just everybody knows if you remember the story about this. So Gary's been so generous and a friend of the show and just a good man. We commissioned Hollis, our friend Hollis, to make that it's like a 12-inch, very detailed statue of Gary Burley. It's got grass stains on it, the whole 9 yards. That thing is the real deal. So Hollis did a hell of a job with that, man. So
yes, he did.
Well, GB, let's talk a little football first. I know we have some more important things to talk about for sure, but let's talk about that Web defense, man. I know. I'm not going to say. You tell me who was part of that Web defense. Who was the W in that Web?
Wilson Whitley.
All right. The E was
Eddie Edwards.
All right. And then we had Burley and who?
Bacon.
It started out with Bacon, but then it was Browner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot it. Yeah. Corey Bacon. Shoot, who forget Corey Bacon? So one of the best defense. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I said Coy ended up having 29 sacks one year. And they ended up giving him like 26 of the 30 sacks that he had. But that man was amazing when it came to getting to a quarterback.
Good stuff. So talk about that defensive front, man, because I know in 1980 when Forrest Gregg got here, he went to a different defense and that Web went away. But talk about the Web defense because you guys were outstanding.
Well, when you get a group of guys together like that all have similar talents and we can all feed off of each other, you can't have anything but success. And my thing was the run game. And then all of a sudden, Coy gets there and teaches us all more about how to get to the quarterback. So when that happened, next thing you know, Coy and I still have the record for most duo sacks, which was 35. And that record is still going on in Cincinnati. Hasn't been broken yet.
Nice.
But Eddie Edwards was one of the most talented defensive linemen I've ever played with or I've ever known, actually. And it goes all the way back to the Purple People Eaters. Oh, that was the first defensive line that I've ever fell in love with. And that's what made me want to play professional football. I watched them play the Cleveland Browns, and for the first half of the game, the Purple People Eater defensive line made every play before the half. I mean, can you imagine a defensive line making every play, every run play?
You don't
that's
see
what those
that.
guys did. That's what
You
they
don't-
did back in the day.
You don't
But
see
we
that.
have
Tom,
equally talented guys.
yeah. Tom, I know you had a few things for GB.
Sure.
Hey, Gary, when we're in the stands, I really think that the fans feed off the, naturally the players, but more so the defense. I know in the late 70s and through, into the early 80s, you were a very emotional player. You were demonstrative. You were good at getting us fired up, especially after a sack. Do you agree with that? And did your teammates and coaches ever give you any heat about that?
No, never. Coy was the one that started that. And after we found out that we weren't going to get in trouble, then we started. And it became a thing where it motivated the fans, like you said, but it also motivated us. So guys were celebrating in a nice way. They didn't overdo things, raise their fists, yell and scream, that type of thing. But it was fun. And to play with those guys, I mean, Jimmy LeClaire, Eddie Edwards, Ross Browner, Ken Riley, Lamar Parrish. I mean, we had a defense that was unstoppable.
Good. Josh, I think you had one as well.
Yeah, what's up, GB?
Hey.
What's going on? So last Friday, or Saturday night, I should say, we're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in our preseason game. Rookie defensive end Joseph Asai, he sacks quarterback Tom Brady. Now, I know it's a preseason game, but he's going to remember that for the rest of his life.
Oh, yeah.
And all your 30-plus sacks in Cincinnati, do you have that one sack that stands out in your career?
Yeah, I do. It's funny because we were talking about that this morning, and it was a sack against Fran Tarkington.
Yep.
When I had to be escorted out of the stadium, police escort out of the stadium. And it was a clean hit. And 20 years later, I was invited to hear Fran speak in Atlanta. And this big hoopla, his fanfare before he goes on stage to speak, they're repeating all of his accomplishments and things of this nature. Fireworks are going off, all kind of stuff like that. So now he looks down in the audience and he sees me. And trust me, I hadn't seen this guy since that sack. So he calls me up on stage and starts reenacting the sack, the quarterback sack. And he was telling, he had such a great day. He was going left, he was going right. He was throwing the ball anywhere he wanted to. Then all of a sudden he sees this dark shadow come over his shoulder. He says, I went to the left and the shadow followed me to the left. I go to the right, the shadow follows me to the right. Then all of a sudden I hear this crunch. And I did not know at the time that it was my leg breaking. And he said, let me tell you this right now. It was a clean hit. This young man, it was a clean hit. That's all I got to say. And those words right there released me from everything that I experienced before he freed me with that.
So, GB, I know last time you were on the show, we played that video and that sack. It wasn't a malicious hit. You came in, you made a sack, you got up, and he was out of the game with that fracture there. But yeah, that's a great video. I'm probably going to wind up posting that again here so everybody can see that video.
Well, let me know so I can watch it.
Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. So let's talk about, Gary, right before the show came on, we were in the waiting room before the show started, kind of talking a little bit about our seniors in the Hall of Fame. So talk about some of the guys you played with in the late 70s and early 80s with the Bengals that you feel that are deserving for the Hall of Fame. And it's not just one or two guys. There's probably more than just one or two, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. I would say at least 4 guys should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how they judge guys, but Ken Riley, Ken Anderson, Isaac Curtis, and Lamar Parrish should be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we were talking also, it was like we talk as fans, we always talk about the player that should be getting in, how upset the player is, but how it affects their families too, Gary. You've probably known that for years, right? It's not just the players, their families that get affected by this process as well. And it's kind of sad to see, and we're hoping we know for a fact now. I think I had put something on social media last week that we were going to find out today. Well, it's not. It is Tuesday, but it's next Tuesday is when we will 100% find out next Tuesday which one senior will be going into the Hall of Fame. Fingers and toes crossed for. We feel pretty confident that Ken Riley has a lead on that particular nomination. So we will find out next week, guys, on that piece of it.
Like you say, let's all keep our fingers crossed and pray and go forward.
No, you just nailed the 4. Those are the 4 that we have. We have the great 8 that we call it, and those are the 4 Bengals seniors that we have that should be in the Hall of Fame if you look at their numbers. So,
hey Gary,
Tuesday's gonna be either a really good show or
Yep.
Or a sad one. Hey, Gary, thank you for joining us once again. You were one of our early guests way back of season 1, and it's great to have you back on, my friend. We do have a question from the listeners, and as always, invite our listeners, watchers to type a question that they have for any of our guests. Greg has one for you.
Okay.
Gary, who was the best player you ever played against?
Against?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because Jackie Sherrill, who was my coach at Pitt, invited me to Joe Namath's celebrity golf tournament here in Birmingham. And I ran into Joe and I said, I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time. And he goes, why? I told him, I said, you had a offensive lineman. And then he mentioned the guy's name. Oh God, I can't think. It escapes me. But anyway, what happened was I was a rookie and I came in the league. I had like 6 or 7 sacks. And before the game, we were out on the field. And this guy, this offensive lineman, I'll think of his name before we get off this call. But anyway, he comes over to me. He says, you know what? He said, Gary Burley, I know you're this hot young defensive end. And let me tell you something. He said, you see that guy over there, number 12? I said, yeah, I do. He said, he pays for my kids' college. He pays for my home. And you will not see him at all today other than from the sideline. So I turned my back and I start walking back toward our bench. And I see my feet up in the air. And I'm going like, what the heck? And this guy had picked me up and slammed me in the mud. This is probably, this was before the game. And Winston Hill, that was his name.
I was just going to say that. I just pulled him up here. Where's the thing? Winston Hill. That's him right there, right?
That's him. Oh, my God. Right. I'm scared to see that guy. But anyway, he just passed away not too long ago. But he was the toughest offensive lineman that I ever played against. And as he said earlier in the conversation, I got nowhere near Joe that day.
Nice. One more question for you.
Sure.
Gary, thank you for sharing that. This is from our listener, Brandon. Do you have a Paul Brown story you can share with us?
Do I have a Paul Brown story?
Hey, Gary, it's a PG-13 show. So.
Oh, no problem. That's all he ever did. I never heard him curse before. But anyway, we were about to strike. The NFL Players Association was sending around a representative to talk to us about what we were going to do during the strike. So we're all in the room at Spinney Field, and he's talking about strike, and everybody's cheering him on. Yo, yeah, yo, yeah, yeah. Then all of a sudden, you hear this door creaking open, and the old man walks in. Now, keep in mind, we're all in assigned seats, so he knows where everybody is. So when he came in, everybody's starting to duck their heads and cover up their faces and stuff, like he's not going to know who's in there. So anyway, this guy is in the middle of his speech, and Paul walks up on the stage and tells the guy, scoot over. And then he goes, there's a yellow Dodge parked in my parking space. Move it. And the poor guy, the union rep, runs out. And then Paul Brown looks at us all, looks around the room, see who's hiding their faces and not. And then he just walks out quietly and shuts the door. It was the damnedest thing I've ever seen in my life. All these grown men scared to death. But that's the kind of guy he was.
Yeah. Well, GB, I thanks for sharing the football stories, and those are all fun and important, great memories. But you have something here. You have a message that you want to share with all of our viewers right now. And in 2012, you were diagnosed with multiple myelomas. You had a transplant, a bone marrow transplant in 2014. You've gone through a lot of things here, GB, and blessed to be here with us, right now on the show today as well. But talk about what you've been through and what's going on and the message you have for all of our viewers right now.
Well, you're right. In 2012 or 13, whenever it was, I kept having this swelling in my knee, and it wouldn't go away. And, after being a former football player, you ignore things like this. And my wife looked at it one day. She says, "This is not going down." And it's been like this for the last 2 weeks to a month. And I said, "Okay, I'll go see my doctor." And I get over there, and they run all the tests that they need to do. And then he says, "Well, come back. You need to see an oncologist." Well, if everybody knows what an oncologist is, that's a cancer doctor. So as soon as he said the word oncologist, I start freaking out. So I went to see the doctor and made an appointment, went to see him. And he says, "You have multiple myeloma." And I'm going like, "Well, what is that?" He said, "It's like a blood cancer." And I said, "So what do we do about it?" And he says, "Well, we're going to start out with treatment. We're going to do chemotherapy for a while." And I took chemotherapy for like a year, I believe it was, and it didn't get any better. It didn't get any worse. And then he said, "Well, the next step is to do a bone marrow transplant." Now, keep in mind, this chemotherapy ruined my kidney, and but it saved my life, I guess. And we go back in, and I get this bone marrow transplant, and I'm in the hospital for like 3 months. 3 straight months. And finally, they say, "Okay, you can go home now." And I'm going like, "Well, fill me in on what's going on here." They said, "Well, you're showing signs of being negative." So I'm going home, and I'm home for like 3 days, and I get up to go use the bathroom, and I fall on the floor. I can't get back up. While I was in the hospital, I got this virus called vegetation, and it damn near killed me. So now that goes into my kidneys. Oh man, you're bringing back some memories here, buddy.
Yeah.
So I get that taken care of, get out of the hospital after 30 days. So that's 4 months in the hospital. I know everybody in there, so I can wave and, "Hey, how you doing?" "No, like, hey, Gary, good to see you back." Okay. All right. So then I get out and I go to the doctors and for my first checkup, and they say, "Well, your kidney function is kind of low here." And I'm going like, "Oh, don't tell me." They said, "Well, let's just keep our eye on it." Next thing I know, they're removing one kidney, and I got one left. And all of a sudden, it's operating at like 30%. So you know what that means. From 100 to 30, it won't be long before it's 0. So I started this marketing campaign. I started talking to people that have experienced kidney transplants and this type of thing. And they told me, this is what you have to do to get that kidney. You got to apply to 3 hospitals to get on the list in different regions. You got to ask. Well, I asked. I got Coach Cheryl and Isaac Curtis and a whole bunch of my friends who do videos for me. Got some radio, television exposure. Paul Feinbaum brought me on his show. The local CBS affiliate here brought me on their show. And the next thing I know, one of my best friends, who I've known for 10 years, gave me a kidney. And it was the most amazing experience that I've ever had in my life, because here I am going to dialysis every day, 3 days a week, 4 hours a day. And just praying. That's all I can do is pray. Because, once you put yourself in that position, without early detection, like I say, you're asking for trouble. And I got my kidney, and I started working for the hospital, not working for the hospital, but being an advocate for kidney transplants, but also bone marrow transplants and cancer. So that's what I do now. Oh,
so there it is. There's that picture, GB. Look at you, man. That's GQ Gary right there. That's GBGQ right there. I don't even know. Looking good. So Gary, so the message is pretty clear here for most. What is your message to all of our viewers right now, and what you want to share to kind of help people understand this?
Everybody that does not have cancer right now, go get checked to keep it that way. That's all it takes. It's a simple blood test that'll tell you where you're at when it comes to that. And the same thing with kidneys. They'll do a simple test. You pee in a cup. You can do that. You can take a blood test, and you can find out what stage levels you're at. And early detection saved my life, and it can do the same thing for everybody that's on this show and everybody that's listening. Get tested. As simple as that.
So Gary, it's really interesting. You hear that across the board for all kinds of things. People hear what they want to hear when they want to hear it, right? So it's one of those things. It's not that hard. Just set an appointment, go get tested. You're done. And early prevention is key. And that's your message at the end of the day.
Well, just think about it like this, Jimmy. You wait and you do nothing. And you go get a test and you can be cured.
Yep.
So, what's the hard part about that?
We're with you. Well, GB, look, I'm just glad you found this early, because without you going through that process of, the early detection, you wouldn't be here with us today, probably, is what we talked about, right? So, man, it's a special thing hearing that story. And I know this is way more important than any sports, any football or anything, man. I thank you for sharing that message with everybody today.
Oh, no, I thank you for what you guys have done. I was watching your duck race, and I'm happy that you guys are taking on charities. That's a great thing.
Well, GB, I know you've got a charity we'll be working with soon. I know you guys doing some IT stuff with that website. Once that's up and running, we're going to focus a week for the charity you've been working with as well, buddy. We'll take care of you, okay?
Well, thank you. Don't forget about our celebrity golf tournament in October.
That's right. Well, hey, GB, we appreciate you being with us, big dog. Thanks again. Okay. And it's always fun to talk to a Bengal OG, man, a Cincinnati football legend. Thanks for being with us, GB.
You guys have a great evening.
Take care, Gary.
See you, Gary.
Thank you,
strong.
Gary.
All right, so I know we're running a few minutes behind. So that's just a powerful message from Gary, man. It's just he's always a fun time talking. And I know that got real serious, everybody, towards the end of that conversation. But it is a message he wanted to share tonight, which is pretty cool. So we have somebody very special, somebody else very special in this waiting room as well. So let's go ahead and bring on contributing writer of Sports Illustrated, Elise Jesse, straight out of Oak Hill High School. What's up, Elise? How you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good. So Jess, you're a West Side girl. You went to Oak Hills, went to Mount St. Joe, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So every one of our guests, we have to find an old video or something from the past. And we found something. We found a bunch of stuff.
I hope you didn't manage to find anything. That's what I'm hoping.
I really didn't want to pull up all your basketball stats, all this 22-point average per game and all that other stuff. But we did find something we need you to talk about. Okay. So Jamie, can you pull up this picture for us real quick? So Elise, can you help us understand what Miss Stuffed Crust is? What the hell is this?
Oh my God. All right, I was not expecting that one. Okay, so my very first job, I was a sports anchor in Montana, and my news director came to me and he's like, we need ratings. Would you please? I saw on your resume that you competed in Miss Ohio USA. Will you compete in Miss Montana USA? And I'm thinking like, heck no, I'm not doing that. And he's like, please, it'll really help us out, I promise. And I'm like, all right, I guess it's just small town things, right? It's Great Falls, Montana. There were maybe 13 contestants. So I compete in that. And then at the end of the pageant, when everything's said and done, I asked my roommate to drive me to Pizza Hut. and I ordered a large pizza that was stuffed crust pepperoni to myself, and I ate the whole thing by myself. I'm a pretty big eater. And Pizza Hut found out about it, and they showed up to my work and surprised everyone with stuffed crust pizzas and sashed me, and I still have the sash. It's great. Everybody got free pizza. Miss Stuffed Crust USA was the best title I ever won in my life.
That was back in about, 2012, 2013, somewhere around there?
Yeah,
Jeff?
2013.
That's an idea for you, Jamie. Next time a celebrity eats your poutine, you can give them the Miss or Mr. Poutine King, Queen, whatever, for your business.
Well, Lisa, hey, so you're at the Reds game right now, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so they're playing the Cubs. Reds are down 1-0, but it's still early, right?
Yes. It's top of 6.
Hey, you know what's going to happen? Joey Votto's going to pull this out somehow, some way. He's going to take care of business.
I hope so. I mean, that would be nice. I wouldn't be surprised if Jonathan India did something here too.
Yeah, there you go. Well, hey, we're going to talk a little football here. So let's talk about our Bengals. So just give us your thoughts on the preseason game Saturday. What was your take of that?
I liked how the defense looked. They didn't look as confused as they did last season. I liked the secondary play. Joseph Asai was incredible, as everyone knows. Everyone's been talking about how well he's done. Hopefully his wrist injury is not significant. Apparently there's no bones broken, so that's a good sign. What else did I like? I was really focused on defense. I mean, that was the most impressive to me, mainly from the last 2 years. It just seemed like they were either out of position, or they were confused, or they were just either trying to do too much or worried about another guy not doing his job. And even though it's early in the preseason, it seemed like they had it together.
Staying on the defensive side, Elise, do you attribute or credit that to what Lou's done now in year 3, or do you think it's the new players that have been brought in? What do you attribute the big difference you saw in week 1 preseason to what you saw in years past?
You know what? I think it's a combination. I was hearing a lot of different stuff about Lou last year, but I think that when you transition as a player from one coach to a different coach, I think there's a lot of turnover that happens, and they had to get players to buy in. And it looks like he is finally achieving that. It's taken 3 years, but it seems like he's finally starting to achieve that, and guys are starting to believe that he's going to put them in the right position on the field, because a lot of the complaints last year were that the players didn't feel like they were put in a position to be successful. And it seems like he's maybe taken that to heart and started to make some changes, and guys are starting to trust him a little bit more, which is a good sign.
Tom, I think you had a question.
I know, Elise, while you covered the Bengals all these years, was there one player that was fun to interview, and was there one that you just learned to kind of stay away from?
Oh, gosh. The player that I stayed away from was Vontaze Burfict. I think that's self-explanatory with his reputation around the league. Yeah, I definitely made sure to stay away from him. We had a couple of interesting conflicts within the locker room. But there were a ton of fun players to interview. George Iloka was a great time. Andrew Whitworth was really fun. Oh my gosh, Jeremy Hill was fun. Giovanni Bernard was a good time. If you got the right players, like Giovanni Bernard would bring out a different side of AJ Green, because AJ Green is pretty shy. But when Gio and Jeremy Hill were all together, it was just nonstop. It was a nonstop comedy show. It was so fun. Joe Mixon is just a trip. He's hilarious. They all have their little quirks, and most of them, once they trust you and are comfortable with you, they're not as stiff, which is when you start to see the personalities come out.
Is CJ Uzomah as crazy as he seems?
Oh my God, he's so funny too. I forgot about him. And he has no filter. Like, he just says whatever is at the top of his head. Most guys have developed some type of filter, whereas he just has not, and he doesn't care, and it's hilarious. It makes the job a lot more fun.
Go ahead, Jake.
We saw a couple rookies shine the first preseason game on Saturday night. Evans got the touchdown. We saw Asai do great despite the hand injury. Any other rookies that maybe not named Jamar Chase that you can expect a big year from? We've seen a lot in the headlines about the lineman from the Carolinas, Deontay Smith, getting some first-team reps and moving him around the line. Have you seen any particular with him thus far in training camp?
Smith, I mean, I don't, I'll be honest with you. George Vogel taught me a long time ago to take training camp with a grain of salt because these guys are still installing plays. They're still getting used to being out on the football field with practice and getting used to their schedules and just learning everything. So I don't really start taking that seriously until maybe the last preseason game. But I'm trying to think of a rookie. Andre, I thought, did pretty well. Sorry, I need to step away from this baseball game. I'm really sorry, guys.
All right.
Andre, I thought did pretty well. I was interested in the offensive line going in because when Joe Burrow was drafted, I remember thinking to myself and also having the conversation with George and many others that if you're going to draft Joe Burrow, you better make sure that you have a quality offensive line to protect him. And that was the big fear going in year one. And then everyone wanted, including me, I thought that they would get Penei Sewell. And when they didn't, I was kind of shocked. I thought, wow, you're not going to pick up a guy who is quote unquote ready to plug and play, a guy who's ready to go, a guy who's going to protect your quarterback. But so far, it seems like at least the guys who are lined up, Spain, Jonah Williams doing really well. I mean, I think the big thing there that I pay attention to is Frank Pollock and how his message comes across to the players because they seem like a lot of them are getting better. Even Mike Jordan seems like he's getting better under Frank Pollock, which is impressive to me. And that's really all I'm hoping to see. I'm hoping that Frank Pollock can get them together like he did in 2018 and make sure that the run game is also there. I know that it's a heavy passing league now, but I want to see the run game a lot more than I did in 2020, that's for sure.
At least we have one or two more questions. We'll let you go, let you get back to the game. But I think this is a good question. There seems to be a fight for those those last few wide receiver spots. Kind of talk about that right receiving core if you're able to.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, if you're going behind Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd, I mean, you already know that those type of guys are going to take up the top spots. So I'm waiting to see how Auden Tate does. Guys like that. I mean, Auden Tate is so tall. He's like a giant. I mean, you're thinking if you can get quality separation and you're physical enough to make those catches, get up in the air, improve yourself. I mean, the competition I know is high, but I really like Auden Tate.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, at least we'll let you get back to the game, but we do have one more thing we want to ask you. Do you really work with James Rapine?
I do. He's awesome.
Yeah. They got to pay you some hazard.
Why are you shocked by that?
They got to pay you hazard pay to work with that guy. I'm just saying. I'm sure he's a pain in the ass.
He doesn't put on pants. He doesn't put on pants when he comes on our show.
The Zoom interviews.
I mean, I didn't know that you had to wear pants for your show. I didn't know that was a rule.
Not required.
Well,
I mean, I just happen to wear pants because I'm in public. I mean, what are you talking about?
Well, Lisa, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully the Reds pull this game. What's the score right now? It was 1-0 last I checked.
2-0.
Yeah, it's 2-0. Chicago hasn't won a game in like 12 games, so I don't know how they're pulling this out.
Yeah, that's like a minor league team right now. We'll get them. We'll get them. Well, Lisa, we appreciate it. Thanks for being on Miss Stuffed Crust Pizza. We appreciate you being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks, Elise.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
See ya.
Live from Great American Ballpark. There you go. James Rapine's going to be blowing up your phone now, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that message right now.
Johnson, you might agree with me. But the best people to cover Cincinnati sports are the people that have either lived here a really long time or were born and raised here.
Yeah, great point. I mean, so Elise graduated from Oak Hills High School in 2007, went to Mount St. Joe. She's had an outstanding career, man, and she's still young and killing it. So it's fun to talk to her. She's really good. She does a really good job of what she does. So, Well, let's get into. We have Josh has a special memorabilia segment for us tonight. Josh, what do you want to title this thing today? What do you call it?
Well, I'm rocking the new stripes. The Bengals are going with that promotion this year, so we're going to do no stripes. No stripes tonight.
No stripes.
No stripes. All throwbacks.
I know where you're going with that. I love it.
Give me 1 sec here, guys.
Take your time, buddy.
Go get him, jackpot.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
As he's pulling that up, you had a new find here recently. I think we'll get to in this this segment as well.
Yeah,
so.
it's going to be in this. This is not it. I've had this for quite some time. So I know that I think Jimmy and I might be the only two people that like to collect trash cans, but we do.
Hey,
and,
speak for yourself. Speak. For
yeah,
I had mine before
there
Jimmy.
we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So the Cincinnati Bengals original trash can with the I mean, I just still love the old logo, man. It's just the big block letters Bengals across the side there.
And you know what, Josh? I mean, it's really good. James has a one of these as well. I have one sitting here, but it is literally to find these is one thing, but to find them in good shape, not rusted out, is another thing. These are really hard to find. Good condition garbage cans like this are really hard to find.
They are, and surprisingly enough, they're a huge market for them right now. These things have been going on eBay for hundreds of dollars. So, I mean, if you had one, good, because lately you can't get one for cheaper than $100 to $200, man. They're the collection right now. Trash cans. Who would have thought it?
Yep.
So, moving on to the next thing here. This is actually a really rare pennant. It already had some pinholes in it when I got it, but as you can see, it's like a cut off pennant there at the bottom. It's like tethered at the bottom. It's only about 12 inches tall, but that was in 1968. They had a whole line of pennants that just came out just like that. They were lined up in banners in a bar, all 28 teams I think they had back then. So you got the NFL shield on there, but those are pretty hard to come by pennant. If you get a chance to pick that up, those usually go for about anywhere from $50 to $60. So keep an eye out for those. Third piece here. I love this picture of Ken Anderson. That is my favorite picture of Kenny. This was from the sports gallery. I took it when he was there to get him to sign that for me. He grabs this picture out of my hands and he goes, "I love this picture. It's the favorite one of myself." And I had a black marker in my hand. He goes, "Nope." He goes, "I don't sign this bad boy in black ink." He goes, if I don't have to, if I have a blue marker available." And he turns and he goes, "Does anyone have a blue marker?" And he borrows one from down the line and he signed it. So, you know, as you've seen Kenny on the show, he's just a great guy. And, you know, he cares about this memorabilia stuff. I mean, that there shows you, like, he likes to sign his stuff in blue because he loves that picture so much. So that's just it just shows you the type of guy that Kenny is. And that's why we love him.
Hey, Josh, that is so funny. If you go back to that picture, Jamie, I have that same exact picture framed to my wall as well. And he signed it a couple years ago down at the Holy Grail for me. He told me if I wanted anything signed to come on down. I was like, all right, I'm not a big autograph guy, so I don't like bugging the players. But he signed it, and as soon as I took it out of the binder that I had it in, he said, "Jim, this is my favorite picture." That's exactly what he told me as well, Josh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, that shows you that he means it. 7-Up salutes the Cincinnati Bengals. This is a series of bottles that were in 6-packs of 7-Up back in the 70s. You see these things floating around all over the place, but they're pretty common. I love that, man. I love the bottles with the old logo there, and I just feel like that's a piece that you should pick up if you collect. You can find them pretty cheap, but definitely one to pick up, get a hold of.
And that the schedule was on the back of that bottle too, right?
Yes, it is. There's a schedule on the back of the bottle from that season. So moving on, I know everyone's a big-time fan of the Hootapole Bengals logo plaque. It's been featured on the show a couple times. I showed it. A fan sent his in. The fans love that Hootapole plaque, but I don't see a whole lot of people ever talking about all the other plaques that are out there. Tony the Tiger and I actually had a chance. There were 2 of these on eBay, and I was happy to see that he got the other one, and I got one. This is not an actual picture of mine. Mine's still in the package, but when I tried to take a picture of it, it was really glary, so I just got this off Google Images for you guys to see. But it's a little round, about, I don't know, 12 to 15 inches in diameter. Just a really cool plaque that features the Cincinnati Bengals logo in there. There's also that same exact plaque with the striped helmet, but that's just a really cool piece. They typically go for about $50. Go ahead. This one here It's kind of more like the Hoodoo Pole plaque. It's like a half helmet inside of a casing. It's got the Cincinnati Bengals nameplate down there at the bottom. These go for about $100, but just a really cool piece to represent that old Bengals big font lettering in the original helmet. So those are some helmet plaques. Keep going. I'm a big bobblehead guy. This is the first Bengals bobblehead ever. These came out in the late 60s, early 70s. This is the one with the Cincinnati Bengals. They actually make that with orange socks, and there's one with black socks. So there's two different versions of that one. A lot of people didn't know that. Yeah, you can go check it out. So that's the orange sock one. I got the black sock one over here, but that's the only difference in these. It was the difference between 1968 and 1970. You can see that there's not really one that's more rare than the other. It's just they couldn't really make any changes, so they just changed the sock color.
Hold on. Now you were going to make me buy another damn bobblehead. All right, so I've got the one with the black socks. It's white with a black trim.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn it.
What about this bucktooth one?
Yeah. I've got the bucktooth beer belly one.
Yeah. What year is that one?
70. I don't know. 72, 73 maybe. It should be on the bottom.
This one drank too much 16 lots. This guy.
There's a couple different versions. There's actually one I'll show a couple of those next week. I've got some really cool ones from the old early 70s. One's actually where his belly's exposed, and you can see that his midriff showing there as he's running. But pretty cool piece. Next slide, please. Okay, so I know that I talked about Jimmy and I being big lamp guys. Trash can guys. Me and James are big lamp guys. I know he showed me that he has a Houday lamp there in his office. So this is turned it on for you guys. That's the old original Bengals helmet that someone had turned into a lamp. It hangs on my bar. Really unique piece, but I love it, and just thought I would show that to you guys here tonight.
Hey Josh, is that a custom? Is that somebody that custom made that? Because I've never seen that one before.
Somebody took one of the old Hutch helmets that they make for kids, and they drilled a small circle in the back of it, put a light bulb through. But I got it at a flea market a long time ago, and I've loved it ever since. So pretty cool. So okay. So this is actually made by Technograph. There's two different versions. I'll show you the other one in just a second. I have been looking for this since I was like 10 years old, and I had a chance to find one of these on eBay. It's a helmet plaque from Technograph from the 1968 season. I was so excited to get this, and I haven't even got a chance to tell Jimmy this yet. There was no real description other than that Technograph made it, which I knew. This bad boy showed up the other day. I was so excited. It arrived. It is no bigger than a football card. It fits in the palm of my hand.
No.
Yes.
Are you serious? I thought for sure this was a plaque.
It is super tiny. It's like a football card size, about yay big, fits in the palm of my hand. And go on to the next slide, if you can. Last but not least, this one's a little bit bigger, but even it is only the size of a sheet of paper. It's 8.5 by 11, like a sheet of paper. I do not have this one. This one's still out there. Technograph made this one as also. You can tell the difference is this one features the running tiger logo at the bottom left-hand corner. So the hunt continues, guys.
Hey Josh, something about that. If you look at the lettering of Bengals, when the Bengals changed their lettering on a lot of the T-shirts and the logos and so forth, that's very similar to what we're doing today.
Yeah, absolutely. So the hunt continues, guys. That's the problem with collecting. It never stops, but keep your eyes out. All right. So that ends the old stripes, new stripes segment today. So I would like to once again remind everybody that we do have our memorabilia show coming up at August the 28th at 16 Lots, the Bengal Jim and Friends Memorabilia Road Show. We want you to come out and have a good time, eat some pizza, drink some beer. We're going to do a live show that night that's all about memorabilia. We want you to be involved. Please bring something that means something to you, and we will put you on the stage. We'll put you on the show. We can't wait to see you guys. Share a quick story. We have David Fulcher in the house that night. He's going to be bringing some items, autographs and pictures for the fans to help please chip in some money to contribute to his charity. And it's just going to be a great night, and we hope that you guys can find the time to come out and spend it with us.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. Let's go ahead and keep going down the road, down the screen here, and kind of close things out. Tom?
No, I thought it was a very good week for the Bengals. The one downer, the Asai injury. Hopefully he'll be back for the opener against Minnesota. So far as what fans can do this week, prayers and support for Gary Burley and a couple of other Bengal vets that are a bit under the weather. And it's something else that we can do, please get on social media. It doesn't stop the support for Ken Anderson and Ken Riley with the senior voters and Willie Anderson with the modern day voters. Even when one of our two guys gets announced next week, hopefully, we have to double down at that point, because then they go to the main body to get certified, to get officially voted in. And while it's very rare for a senior nominee to not get in, it has happened. So there's always that shoe ready to drop on a Bengals fan. So don't let up one little bit.
Yeah, 100%, Tom. Jamie?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens next week. I'm hoping we come on here next Tuesday and we got a lot of stuff to celebrate and see that everyone's efforts has paid off. I have a good feeling after having some of the people on here that are part of the selection committee to hear in their own words, kind of validate and justify why we're fighting as fans to put some more Bengals in the hall. I feel really confident that this is a no-brainer.
Yeah. James?
As always, thanks to our guests, Gary and Elise, for joining us tonight. Our first tailgate, obviously, will be against Minnesota. We have a special guest at our first tailgate, Scotty Randolph, who's a musician based here on the north side of Indianapolis. Played our party on Saturday night, and he's going to be playing the tailgate, first tailgate at home there in Lot E. So he rocked it, put on a heck of a show, and look forward to everybody else getting to see him in 3 weeks for whatever we've got for the home opener. Along those lines, I think the test on Friday night is going to be good. I predict Washington to win the NFC East. I think they got a good team. Ron Rivera's done a good job there. Heineke's a decent quarterback. Obviously, they have Fitzmagic. So I think Friday night's going to be a good test for the Bengals. Hopefully, keep Joe in bubble wrap. I'm fine with that. I think Zach already said that he's not playing, but I think it's going to be a good test. So look forward to watching that on Friday night, and glad to be back in our Tuesday night time slot, because that means it's football season. Jimmy?
Yeah, and it looks like Jamie's back in the soup kitchen there tonight. Looks like.
I love that my business I put my life savings into is a soup kitchen. All right, next week I'm going to give you guys a tour of this place.
That's fine.
We can do it. So actually, to add on what James said about Scotty Randolph, not only all the stuff that James said, he was outstanding at the event, James party that we had, but he's also a Nashville recording artist as well. This guy's legit. So he's going to play for a period of time at the tailgate opening day. We will also be tailgating for the first preseason game, the home preseason game. It's not going to be a big blowout tailgate. We will be down there. We'll probably have stuff set up, but it's not going to be like a regular season tailgate. We will be down there, though. We'll be having some fun. Again, thanks to Gary Burley and Elise Jesse. Fun guests, good stuff. And again, keep in your prayers, Christy Woods. I'm looking forward to catching up on my text here from her husband, Chuck, to see how she's doing. And next Tuesday, guys, there may be a complete schedule change on everything we do next week. So stay tuned. It looks like the announcement is coming down next Tuesday. Just so you know, there's going to be a very special episode next week we're planning on. So stay tuned. We're back again next Tuesday, but there's going to be a very special episode next week for sure. We're also talking about maybe doing a watch party. I know we're getting a ton of people asking, hey, where's everybody watching the game? I'd much rather hang with you guys watching the game than sitting here in my basement by myself watching the game. So we'll stay tuned on social media. We'll put somewhere, try to make it centrally located, but maybe get together, have some drinks and some food, and watch some preseason football this week. So just stay tuned on that. Bengals 1-0, beat the Super Bowl champs. 2-0 this week, beating the Washington Redskins, or the Washington football team, whatever they're going to be called. But James made a great point. A really good defense, a really good team. A really big test for us as well, because I thought every level, first string, second string, third string, dominated at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which was very fun to see. So we appreciate everybody viewing. It means a lot to us that you guys are tuning in and sharing this evening with us every week. So we appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week. Hoo day. Thanks again, everybody.
Hoo day.
Hoo day.